By the end of this video, you will know about eo verbs in the Greek New Testament. Hi, my name is Rob McIver. Let's talk about eo verbs. Well, as you might expect, eo verbs are verbs that have an epsilon at the end of their verb root. One such verb is laleo, which means I say or I speak. And I have here two columns. In the left-hand column is lale plus the expected endings for the present indicative active. Laleo, laleis, lalei. But when we look in the New Testament, we find that the epsilon sound has been a weak sound and has been largely swallowed up by the stronger long vowels and diphthongs. So laleo becomes lalo, laleis becomes lalais. The only difference is between what happens with laleo and what happens with luo is a change in accents and in the first and second person plural. So laleomen becomes lalumen and lalaeti becomes lalaita. Now, there can be several approaches to learning eo verbs. One of my best students said, just learn another paradigm. I like learning paradigms. If you wish, you can follow that approach, although there will be complications later. I think a slightly easier way to go is to learn a few rules that cover all these changes. And the advantage of doing that is the rules that we learn work in all kinds of other places as well. So here are the rules. Epsilon plus epsilon, any form of epsilon, so epsilon iota as well, becomes epsilon iota. Epsilon plus omicron becomes the diphthong oo, omicron upsilon. Epsilon plus a long vowel or a diphthong just disappears. So it becomes the long vowel or the diphthong. So let's see how that works with our pattern word laleo. So laleo is got epsilon followed by omega. Omega is a long vowel. The epsilon disappears. Laleis, epsilon is followed by a diphthong, and therefore it disappears. When we get to laleomen, though, epsilon plus omicron makes the diphthong oo, omicron upsilon. And when we look at laleti, epsilon plus epsilon becomes epsilon iota. So the rules work. And if you're like me, you may think learning the rules is a shortcut and one that you can follow. Yeah. Now what I have here is a list of all the eo verbs that occur more than 50 times in the Greek New Testament. And it's good to learn these thoroughly because they are frequently found, aren't they? When we look at them, aiteo, for example, is found 70 times. So as is my custom, I will read it out and allow you time to repeat it back to me. Aiteo, akalutheo, dokeo, zeteo, theoreo, kaleo, laleo, martureo, parakaleo, peripateo, poieo, proskuneo, and teireo. Did you notice that there is a plus dative after akalutheo and after proskuneo? This is because these verbs are associated with a dative. Now, how can we make eo verbs easier? Well, first of all, we realize there is not a lot of new material in this video. If we know about the verb luo and how it's used with nominatives and accusatives to form a sentence, and how first and second and third person works and singular and plural work, all of that is still true of eo verbs. So it's just a little tiny step forward. So to make eo verbs easy, first of all, learn the rules of contraction. They're important and you will be able to use them in several contexts. And second, learn the vocabulary very, very well. And third, of course, you will want to practice. Might I recommend the exercise in chapter 7 of my book, Beginning New Testament Greek Made Easier, as an ideal place to get practice on using the eo verbs that are found frequently in the New Testament. Now, this is one of a series of videos on the grammar of the New Testament, all designed to make it easier to understand and learn. You can most easily find these videos by subscribing to my YouTube channel, NT Greek Made Easier, or by following me on x.com at robmcivor2024. And hey, if you found this video helpful, why not let me know by clicking on the like button below or by clicking on the heart icon. Thank you.